Today, we're going to discuss Call of Duty Black Ops 6's biggest mystery that is still unsolved. But to do that, we have to flash back a very long time, or to June 9th, 2024, with the Black Ops 6 reveal. Black Ops 6 was revealed. It was a great reveal. People were excited. But the zombies community knew that there was another zombies coming, as there always is with another Black Ops game. So, we didn't really get any zombies on that day, so the zombies community had to look forward to future dates to get more zombies news about their beloved mode. They would only have to wait until August 8th, 2024 to be able to get a 17-minute gameplay trailer. This would show off 17 minutes of gameplay of the map Terminus from BO6. And it was looking great. The ambiance of the map and the rainy island setting helped make this map look very appealing for a zombies game. People were excited after this reveal, and so was I. Now, we would just have to wait for the release date of October 25th, 2024. I remember booting up the game on October 25th with a friend, playing a couple games of multiplayer, and then hopping into the thing that we were really excited for that day, the zombies. We hopped onto a game of Terminus Island, and we were starting to have a great time. Until
breach happened right after I said your sorry ass is free.
After you energized, Area 1
the
online.
old saying that every plan involving you tends to turn to excrement.
So these screaming fuckheads are just gonna keep coming? And to be clear, I'm not talking about Strauss and Peck.
what is that noise? What am I hearing? Why is there guitar riffs? Why is it jumbled? What is that? Upon further investigation, we find it's coming from the Quick Revive machine. And there is no jingle. This is all that there is. And throughout this entire life cycle of Black Ops 6, this is all that there was. The Quick Revive jingle has gone missing. Where did it go? And that is the biggest unanswered mystery of Black Ops 6. Today, I'm here to solve that mystery. Where did it go? Why is it not here? And what is this jumbled guitar riff mess that is in its place? Today we'll be looking at 3 theories that I found online and digging a little bit deeper into those to try and find the answer. Starting with theory number 1, we have the theory that this is a glitch, which honestly, after the post-launch of Black Ops 6, I really wouldn't put it past Treyarch. However, I really doubt that this is not intentional. I think the zombies team was kind of on top of things, and I feel like something like this would have been fixed. Although this didn't get much attention, I don't feel like. I feel like a lot of people probably did not even notice that the Quick Revive jingle was missing. I really don't think it was unintentional. I think this was an intentional change that they either had to make or wanted to make. I don't think this theory is where it's at. Now, theory number 2 leads us to that it is intentional and part of the story. Now, this could very well be possible. I tried to find anything that I could relating to the jingle at all. People speculated it might be part of the Easter egg at first, and that turned out not to be true on either map. People thought maybe we would get an answer later on in the game's post-launch through one of the Easter eggs, and that also did not happen. The Quick Revive jingle is nowhere to be found in this game, only in the reveal trailer. that 17 minutes of gameplay that were shown at the beginning, the Quick Revive jingle is still there, but not in the actual game. I tried scrubbing through every single piece of intel from Black Ops 6 that I could possibly find, using the COD Wiki and the codex from the detonated website, as well as the intel that I've collected in-game myself, and absolutely nothing. Nothing referring to Quick Revive, nothing that I can find relating to strange noises like guitar riffs or glitching sounds. Nothing. I feel like if this was intentional, they would have at least put a piece of audio log or intel somewhere in any one of these maps that would have mentioned it a single time. However, that's not there. This could still be a story part in Black Ops 7. We don't know. The game hasn't even come out yet. I don't even know if the jingle is going to be in Black Ops 7 or not, or if they're going to get a new one, or this same jumbled mess that we had this year. I have no idea. But I hope they do something with it to get rid of this jumbled mess. It's much less cooler than just having the actual jingle. So I don't think this theory is it either, seeing that it didn't come to fruition throughout the entire game's life cycle or anywhere in any intel. That leaves us with the third and final theory, which I did a lot of research into and found that it is probably the most likely one, which is why I saved it for last. And this third theory is that the problem wasn't a glitch or a story problem, but rather a legal one. As the jingle was featured in the trailer, but not in the actual game, people think that maybe there was a legal issue in between that revealed trailer and the game, as there was a couple months in between that something like that could go down. Maybe the owner trying to get more money out of them and renegotiate, or just pulling the plug on it completely, not wanting their music being used in this game. So I looked into this possibility. I was able to find that most of the original perk jingles used sampled music. I found this through a post on r/CODZombies by a deleted user, titled "Fun Fact: Quick Revive and many other perk jingles use stock music instrumentals. Here's the original version of Quick Revive by Tom Blades and Geraint Watkins called It's a Perfect Day, released in 2006. Which I will play for you now. And this gave us our first lead. Now, there's a lot to unpack on this post and the comments. An example of a sample being used somewhere else is in this SportsCenter clip. And if you go to 1:45, the timestamp, you will hear this very familiar jingle.
Celebration parade. An Ajax team member drops the Dutch League soccer trophy.
Oh, how embarrassing. Everyone's like, oh, don't
drop
do
it
that,
off
guys.
later, but he misinterpreted the communication there.
Is that what happened?
Another reason, public transportation, very dicey. Especially when you're carrying, Stanley Cup things and World Premier trophies.
So now we know a few things. We know that the jingles are made using stock music, and we know where to find the Quick Revive original sample. Or so we think we know where to find it. Clicking on this link, posted by the original poster, deleted, gives us a 503 error. So we will have to try and find it manually by going to the Nishion website, which is where it was hosted. But searching anything regarding It's a Perfect Day or either one of the artists comes up with really nothing. Some music that is completely unrelated. So, the next solution is to head to the Wayback Machine. If this song was at least at one point on this website, then we can find it on the Wayback Machine. And to the Wayback Machine I went, and sure enough, here it is, on the album Madcap Jazz, It's a Perfect Day, track number 10 by Tom Blades and Geraint Watkins. Now, we can't listen to the track as the track itself is not archived on this page, but we can find a lot of information on it, like the composers, the description, the era, the genres, and most importantly, the label. It was published under Big Short's music label, which is what led me to our next discovery. Searching up Big Short's music label, you can find their entire library now under Universal Production Music, as it has moved from Nishion to Universal Productions Music. And on here, sure enough, you can find the Madcap Jazz album. Now, if we remember, we're searching for track number 10, so we can count them up. Except it's missing. It skips straight from 8 to 12, meaning that there are 3 missing tracks in between, one of which being track number 10, or It's a Perfect Day, which is exactly what we are looking for. So, searching on the Universal website, we've kind of hit a dead end. However, if we go back to the Wayback Machine, we can again look at the composers' names, Tom Blades and Geraint Watkins. First, we can start by looking up Tom Blades, which doesn't really come up with much. We can find a musician named Tom Blades, but I'm not sure if it's the same guy, as this particular song or album is not listed on any page that contains this guy, so he's kind of a dead end too. However, Geraint Watkins is a lot more well known. In fact, he has his whole own Wikipedia page. Looking up Geraint Watkins' It's a Perfect Day, you can find this Reddit post under r/helpmefind titled Help Finding Lost Instrumental Version of It's a Perfect Day, which I'll read for you now. The media I am attempting to find is an instrumental version of the track It's a Perfect Day by Geraint Watkins and Tom Blades. Further context: It's a Perfect Day has multiple versions, one sung by Geraint and the other two, who I can guess to be Tom, with a lost third version in which it's just the instrumentals with the exception of some hums at the very end. Technically, the instrumental version I speak of has already been found. However, I'm more so looking for the source of it. Everywhere I look, no music library has this instrumental version, only the vocals. The only reason it's technically found is because of what the track is used for. It's the instrumental to the Quick Revive jingle from Call of Duty Zombies, so someone has found it. However, the source provided no longer is the location of It's a Perfect Day. APM Music and Universal Music Productions no longer have the track. There are subtitles to each version of It's a Perfect Day. There's underscore, vocal, and guitar. The latter two I see everywhere, and any site that allows them to be listened to, but not possesses the instrumental underscore version. An oddity is the album the track is a part of, or at least is supposed to be a part of, Madcap Jazz. It's supposed to have It's a Perfect Day. However, some sources only have some of the tracks and not all of them, with It's a Perfect Day often being excluded. To specify the end goal, I am looking for the current music library that possesses this instrumental version. Some time ago, the library was APM Music, then Nishion, and then possibly Universal Music Productions. However, the track seems to have changed library again, and I'm trying to figure out which one it's in now. P.S. If this is not the correct Reddit form for this topic, please inform me of where I should instead inquire. Thank you. Searching for responses, you can find an edit by the OP saying, "So, as it turns out, I'm a little dumb. Nonetheless, It's a Perfect Day is owned by UMP. Since UMP owns Brutton, however, UMP's website only shows a selection of handpicked songs produced by UMP, hence my initial confusion. So while UMP does own It's a Perfect Day, it is still unknown if they have the instrumental version as opposed to just the vocal and guitar. So if UMP does own and is still licensing the song, then they are not putting it on their public website. So I went to look up when UMP might have acquired this library of songs. And I went to the Wayback Machine, and there is a backup of this website from January 29th, 2023. However, it is completely blank. So I don't really know what happened there. However, this does line up with the last backup of Nishion being December 11th, 2022, which would be right before the backup on Universal Music Productions. So we know Universal Music Productions now got the rights for the album sometime around early 2023. However, we can rule out Universal Music Productions' acquisition of the album as the reason the jingle is gone, as the jingle was still featured in 2023's Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. So we can rule that out. However, there are a couple other legal reasons that could be causing the jingle's absence. One thing that could have happened is that the license for the song expired or reverted to the composer. It might have just been that song specifically, or a couple other songs on that album that have now ran out, and they could have gone back to the composer, and maybe Activision didn't have time to reach out and negotiate, or maybe the composer refused, or something along those lines. Or when Universal Music Productions picked up the album, they could have declined to relicense that particular song for some reason. Maybe it's because they knew it was used for the jingle of a popular game and didn't want to deal with all that, or who knows. We can't know the exact reason on any of these things, but those are the two good possibilities. But for whatever reason, UMP probably does not have the license for the song anymore. It's likely in the hands of Tom Blades or Geraint Watkins, or both of their estates. And because all of this is not publicly documented, there's really no way to know. In conclusion, there are 3 theories about what happened to the jingle, which you've heard in this video. I think that number 3 is the most credible, seeing all the digging there is to actually be done, and the fact that it has gone missing from Universal Music Productions' website. The most likely possibility being that the rights to use the song in this album have expired and reverted back to the composers and their estates. The theory that it is a glitch is really not that credible. There's nothing to show. There's nothing to help prove, no evidence, no nothing. Although I wouldn't put it past Treyarch at this point, I still don't think that's the biggest possibility, or rather a possibility at all. The second being that it has something to do with the lore. I guess this is still possible, as they could do something with it in Black Ops 7. In some way, shape, or form, whether that's a main Easter egg, maybe some intel, or a side Easter egg. We'll just have to wait and see. Who knows? Maybe I'll make an update video about this around this time next year. And then the final theory, which I still believe to be the most likely, is that the rights reverted to the composers. This would explain why they took it out of the game on presumably such short notice after putting in the reveal trailer about a couple months before. And maybe all they had time to do was scrap together some jumbled up guitar riffs as a substitute for at least the time being, which then they never updated. Well, personally, if you ask me, I hope that they just use the jingle from Shadows of Evil, as I think it's a pretty good rendition of the original that doesn't really sample the track even, so it would probably be pretty clear to use. So that offers a solution that allows you to keep the soul of the original jingle while keeping a new one that is still also kind of original because it was in an older game. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I hope the answers we've reached somewhat close this case of what actually happened. I had never really done an investigative video like this, and it was kind of fun just searching through stuff to try and find answers. It's fun, like being a detective. But I tried to do my best like Nexpo impression this entire time. So I hope I did a good job like impersonating him. I hope you enjoyed my Nexpo impression, or maybe you found it annoying. I don't know. Leave a comment. Engagement helps. Please and thank you. And maybe maybe drop a like too. Maybe just a little subscribe. But anyway, yeah, thanks for watching. And I'll try to make an update, or maybe post in the comments if we get a solid answer or just more evidence towards what the real answer is. So yeah, thanks for watching. Bye.